Good morning, everybody. And I Bijou. My dogs are trying to say hello here. Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody is having a good rainy Tuesday if you're in the rainy part. And summer reading wrap up has gone well.
And I bought a lunch.
So we've got this is the August 19th, 2025 Michigan PR group meeting. And we've got a roundtable meeting today. So if anyone has questions, thoughts, concerns, successes they want to share, the floor is open. I'll start off with asking everybody, how'd summer reading go? I know we had our finale last week, Monday, with laser tag, and it was a blast. We had over 100 people there, so it was we were pleased with that. And you could either feel free to chime in, or you could also pop it in the chat if you'd like. Welcome, Josh. Just getting everybody admitted here. I see a J spot, but Josh, is that you?
Shoot.
Yay!
It's supposed to come through my speakers.
Oh, yeah, you are quite garbled.
Well, this is not working right.
You're sounding a little better there, Cheryl. The end. So maybe it caught on. All right, so the floor is open. If you want to tell me about how summer reading went, if you got any other questions or thoughts for the group, feel free to toss them in chat or chime in on audio. Either one works. All righty, no volunteers. So I'll start asking questions to the group then. So who's got some cool fall either services or programs happening? All right, let's bring Cheryl back on in. Bring Josh back on in.
Recording in progress.
All right, Romeo is successful outreach ideas for library card sign up month. That is a good, well, midnight. That is a very good question. Anyone have any good library card sign up ideas? Or anything you're doing to help get a card signed up? Hi, doggos. Oh. I say one thing we've been doing is just trying to go out. We finally got the ability to make cards at events. So we went
Larry, I think you're
our
stuck
high
hearing this in
school
the
or our
background.
school
trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, this is Andy from Tecumseh District Library. Um, Good morning, everybody.
Good
A little shy
morning.
this morning, it seems. Um, so we have a thing called digital cards. I'm sure some people have something like this, and we're a little concerned about frankly, the security of it. This is mainly just for students, and so we really do want to sign people up. Um, for the full everything, to check out. And of course, minors in our library have to have a parent signature. So it's a little difficult. And then people who go to the Tecumseh public schools, not everybody lives in our district. So we've got some logistical things that we're trying to work out, but I think I'm fairly confident that the direction we're going in is to just phase out the digital cards altogether for minors at least, because there's really no restrictions on what they can do with that. So we've got something planned. We don't know quite what yet. And school for us started yesterday, and it was very successful. We had almost 50 kids show up after school, and we were prepared for them. And didn't have any programs or anything yesterday. We passed out the student code or the code of conduct, and overall, it was a very friendly thing. For half days, we want to have programs like craft programs and things like that that will take up a couple of hours for at least half the kids. And we'll get some decent um, refreshments for them as well as the craft. So I have like a person who does the crafting for adults here, and she's doing that too. So basically two things. We are doing the some sort of a card drive, and then secondly, making sure that at least every half day we have something fairly robust for the students because some of them are here from, 11 until 5, or 11 until 6. And so we definitely want to make sure we have something for them. So a lot of our planning has revolved around that. So sorry for the long monologue, but that's what we're doing.
Not a monologue at all. So it's good to sometimes talking out loud clarifies it to yourself. And when you have 50 kids coming after school, you got to be prepared and plan for them.
Yeah, like it, yeah. And when I was hired initially last year, I felt more like the large amount of responsibility was on me to sort of supervise and plan and all that. Now, with the new, he's not totally new now, but relatively new director and relatively new children's librarian and a staff that, we created a document called the do's and don'ts of working with after school patrons. And that helped clarify like what we are and what we're not. Like we're not going to provide a curriculum for kids every day. We're not going to provide like food every day, for kids. Um, we are going to greet people at the door. We're not going to hover over people and as they come through the door. We're going to try to get names when possible, but we're not going to demand names. Like I think that at least for the first day has helped, and I think it's more of a team effort. I think it's good to have like a point person for ch the children and the kids who come in. Um, Most of the kids who come in after school are probably age 11 to maybe 15. But everybody, like it's not feasible for one person to do all of that and be a librarian and have any other duties. Plus, like literally, like you're talking about, you know, 5 to 7,000 square feet space to have one person do it. I kind of liken it to being, chaperoning a dance over that, and so I think, a lot of our focus turns towards managing those patrons. When the patrons came in yesterday, the after school patrons with their 40 to 50, um, there were currently at that time maybe 12 people in the library, not including staff. So the dynamics of the library are changing instantly. Um, and most of the kids are fairly cooperative and so on, but we did already have, three individuals who were asked to leave and they can try again tomorrow. And so, that's unfortunate, but that's just especially early on, we want to set the tone that we're not going to accept people being disruptive and, we'll warn them once and then the second time we'll ask them to come back tomorrow.
Yeah, I've always found that you got to set the tone from the get-go at the start of the school year, and then that makes the rest of the school year go so much smoother. Anyone else have ideas for library card sign-up month or teens in the library and tips for Andy?
We're gonna do a Beanstack situation. We're challenging folks to pop back onto Beanstack and complete a bingo sheet worth of activities that you can do with your library card for the chance to win some great prizes. And yeah, we're getting ready to roll out an email newsletter for that, a press release. We've got a postcard going out door to door. Yeah, and we got one of those. We made one of our own signs, yard sign shaped signs that people can hold up for photos saying, I just signed up for my library card already. So, yes, some great stuff.
Cool. So what activities are on the bingo sheet?
Nothing too complex, try out Canopy, check out a cookbook, check out something from the library of things. Use it, use it, use it.
Yep. That's the goal.
Yep.
All right. Any other thoughts for library card sign up month?
Make this
Sorry, it's me again. We actually I considered going to the local school district and like going to individual classrooms, like the English classroom for the English classrooms for ninth graders, 10th graders, 11th graders, 12th graders, and just passing out registration. Ours is like on index cards first, and then we enter them into the computer. Um, I don't think that's a bad idea. I'm definitely willing to do it, but part of the problem, like I said, is not everybody in the Tecumseh School District. Um, in fact, I mean, I don't know what the percentage is, but I would guess probably only about 80% are in the library district because there's schools of choice and there's other things. But they still could get a card. They just have to pay. We're not excluding anybody. And I think a lot of it to me is kind of symbolic, like to say we're trying to get you in here to get full access to what we do. I mean, they can do everything in the library without a card except get on the computers and check out books. But we'd like you to be able to have that, as well with the card. So some of it I think is just pure community outreach. Um, and there's a practical side to it too, but that's I think something like this has been done before. Um, we talked about registering people like right on site, like at lunches or parent-teacher conferences, but ultimately we need a parent signature for the minors at some point. So we're trying to work out the logistics, on that. Um, you have to understand, the middle school is like a block from it's basically right across the street from our library. So that's why we get so many consistent visitors there. The high school's further away. We get less traffic from the high school, but we get kind of a core group of probably 10 or so, 5 to 10 a day from the high school. And then we get a lot of homeschoolers and as well. So
Thank you, Andy. This is Lisa with Romeo. We give every student in our service area, well, every student at our Romeo Community Schools, a virtual library card. So they get access to Mel and tutor.com and things like that. We find that a majority of the students visit our branches as well for everything else. And the schools don't want us messing with their time. They don't really want us coming in. We have in the past, but it's decreased every year. We go in, our librarians do go in to talk about Battle of the Books, and they visit the elementary schools here and there. And then our bookmobile makes some visits, but the middle and the high school, they just don't want us infringing on their time much at all. So I do feel like we reach our students really well. So I'm just looking for other ideas outside of students, how else to reach people and maybe get our numbers up for more library card holders.
thank you. And I think I should say too, the Tecumseh High School does not have a library in it anymore. Not an operating library. They have a space that's labeled the library or something like that. I don't. My understanding is there's no certified librarians at all in the district. I might be wrong on that, but I'm fairly certain that's true.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Pardon me?
I hate that.
Well, yeah, I mean, and only 10% of school districts or schools in the state currently have a certified
Yeah.
librarian staffed because I don't know what year, I want to say 2002 or something like that, that was not required anymore by the
Mhm.
state or by North Central accreditation, but whatever accreditates the schools. So our relationship's a little bit different. I feel like they're more eager I think they're trying to demonstrate to the community, oh, we do. We have the Tecumseh District Library. We're in strong partnership,
Sure.
with them. I think that's probably why, but I get it. I'm a retired teacher and I know you're just inundated throughout the year, both administratively and from the teaching standpoint of, hey, can we do this program for all your homerooms? So I get it. I mean, I think that's unfortunate, but I think that I just wanted to validate what you said there, but we're in a different realm here. And we're not trying to like save them exactly. It's just um we're just trying to make it more accessible. And the problem with the digital card, the concern that our director has is that students can go anywhere with it. Like there's no restrictions on it. So, and there's no parental signature required or anything, so they can get into anything from Hoopla to Libby, and there's no restrictions. And he's very uncomfortable with that, and I think rightly so. I don't think a lot of students take advantage of that, but it's there. Most of them want the digital card to get on the computer to play Roblox or Roblox. But I think he's trying to get away from the digital card. I thought it was a great idea when I started, but then he pointed it out to me. It makes sense from a liability standpoint and just from a public relations
It does.
standpoint.
It does. Yeah, ethically for sure. I don't know the details, the limitations at all with our virtual card. I don't think there've been any issues, but I don't know what they're, if it's just Mel and tutor.com and they're banned from it. I don't know what the details are. Seems to be working for us. That's all I know.
Yeah, those are I want them to have, well, and part of it's just practical. I want them to have something to do while they're here,
Yeah, because aimless middle schoolers are apt to be more the ones kicked out. So,
Right.
as the mother of a middle schooler at the moment, so I know we've been trying to get out to more community events. Like we've got a senior appreciation night coming up Thursday night. And then we were at the back to school fair. This is kind of 2 in 2 weeks is a lot for us. A good thing to have, especially targeting completely different audiences. And then we're trying to reach out more to the homeowners associations. We're part of a city government, and they're finally letting us gain access to those lists, which they hadn't for years. So we're just trying to take baby steps in that direction, because we don't want them to pull the rug out from under us again. Though I never got why, considering we were not trying to spam anybody. We were just trying to give them info of the library cards, which as homeowners, they should know.
I like both of those ideas.
Yeah, then I'm always a fan of, especially during library card sign up month, is, at your programs, just tell people, remember, word of mouth marketing is our best bet out there. Tell people, tell your friends, get a library card. Even if only 2 people in the group do that, you're still a win for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because nothing it beats your friend or family member telling you something versus reading in an advertisement or, something else that doesn't hold as much weight.
Yeah, like clutter.
Mm-hmm.
We have had luck with our bookmobile being out at the parks, music in the park, and those types of things. So yeah, that's fun. And just seeing our bookmobile and all the parades, and we do home delivery, and just getting that out there has really helped.
Mm-hmm.
But I know we're spoiled to be able to have a bookmobile, so
be glad to be spoiled, and it's great advertising, because if you just see it driving it around town too.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Sorry again, but
no, please, Andy.
I have to say,
welcome it.
going to the middle school, it was very low. Okay, so we have a new middle school principal, and he was just slammed. He was appointed in like early August, I think. late July, and I wrote to him and you know, asked him if we could come to the open house, if there wasn't going to be. So the day before, he said, yes, we're going to do an open house. So we did like an open house here for the after school patrons and got one person who was a Tecumseh High School teacher, but it was time well spent. We got a lot of very good information. So then the next night I went to the middle school um, open house, and that was great. I mean, you just set up a table in the cafeteria, and I just know I took a couple dozen cookies over there and lots of signs for our programming and some brochures, and all my business cards virtually were gone, all the brochures were gone, and all the cookies were gone. Um, and lots of very good interactions there. And I guess what I'm learning, just over a year into doing this position is that you know, going out to locations like it's not Lisa, is it Lika from Romeo? Leica? I
Sorry,
can't.
no, it is pronounced Lisa.
Lisa, okay.
I just
Okay.
like to
That's
create
what I
a,
thought you said, but then it looked okay
yeah, I
on the
just like to
page.
create a challenge for people, but it's
It's
Lisa.
okay. So, like Lisa said, like going out to groups, and I think Kelly also said, like that's in the case of the middle school open house, way more effective than hosting a middle house here, an open house here. Like I saw way more parents and kids. And generally, they were happy the kids from last year were pretty happy to see us and a little surprised, um, which isn't bad. Um, and the parents like were effusive in their praise for what not just we do with the after school kids, but also for just the community in general. For me, it was a real good barometer of how people feel about our library. And so now I have people asking about chess club and asking about the Perler Beats program we're going to do and the Dragon Eggs and Girls Who Code and different and like there's just way more exposure doing that than some social media and things which you should do obviously, but the reach at this open house was significantly more, and we'll see if it yields more participation. But I was floored by how many people came to my table and wanted information. And that's why, initially we thought about taking our sign up cards over there, but we just weren't ready to do that at that time. We just didn't want to rush it and hadn't thought of all the logistics of it, like I said. But in the future, that would be, I think, a great thing to do.
That would be a great thing. And it's good. I always love talking even to the people that are already library users at events like that because you get a different perspective and it's a good chance to tell them about things they might, although they use the library, they might not know about this service that you offer.
I
And then we've
agree.
got a couple of chats, one from Raina that says they do library card wars. Ooh, that sounds fun. 2 different townships and a city in their service area. And every time somebody signs up for a card, they mark it down. So the township or city with the most signups for the month wins either a Kona ice truck or hot cocoa or snow cones, depending on the weather. Ooh, that sounds fun. I'm a sucker for a snow cone. And then Cheryl tossed in that for September, they do free lost cards as well as take donations for the local food bank and trade for book finds. Both of those are great ideas as well. And we all can help. And more we can do to help out our local food banks in this time because they're gonna get extra stress. So all the better. Yeah, we changed our policy like I think about a year back. So we do, if you've lost your card, you can get a replacement card for free now. Instead, it was just like $1 or $2, but that small fee deterred so many people. they're so happy to find that they lost their card and that it's free now. All right. Anyone else got any other great library card sign up months, tips or tricks, or things you do that have worked or that haven't worked so we don't repeat that? All right. I'll switch topics on everybody. I don't know if everybody has looked at the MLA annual conference lineup, but there are some really great marketing sessions that are happening there. A couple by Katie Rothley and a couple from Canton Library. I know Lori Golden I saw was doing one, and I'm going to see if I could try to attend because some of them looked really great programs. So if you haven't already, I encourage everyone look at MLA lineup here. I'm going to see if I can pull it up again. Let's see, schedule. And toss that in the chat once this opens.
I'll be there on the Wednesday.
All
I haven't
right.
memorized the schedule yet, but this is like the first year in 5 years I'm not presenting. Feels weird. Can actually
I would
relax.
just be a participant and absorb
I don't know
all
how
the
to do
great
that
stuff.
anymore. Yeah.
Yep. Andy, I hope you get a chance to go to MLA. It's always great. You get so much out of the conferences, but just so much about chatting with other folks too. And I tossed a link to the conference in the chat if anyone wants it. All right. Anyone else have anything else for the group today?
What about Banned Books Week? It's coming up.
That is. Whoops.
Anybody? Anybody in the chat? Don't make us call on you.
No, although certainly banned books week is more important now than ever. All right. Lisa popped in the chat that about fall programs, their teen librarian is starting a manga book group, and one of their other children's librarian is starting a cozy book club. Oh, and Guy November. Cheryl is saying too conservative here. I wish we could do something. That is banned books are more important now than ever, but you do have to work within the community you're a part of. And hopefully you still are able to have the books at least. And that way, if people want to access them, they can. All righty. Anyone else have anything for the group today? All right. Cheryl said they try to support the entire community, but dare not draw attention to it. I can, unfortunately, I wish I could say I didn't understand that, but I do. And we're here to support you from behind the scenes. And, hopefully, it gets to where, books are, no matter what, my favorite line to people that want to say that is, I always love the line that a good library should have something in it that offends everybody. And then if you ask somebody to go search for a book that offends them, everybody's going to come back with a different book. And then Lisa popped in a question to the group from Romeo there. If anyone has gone through an expansion, she's looking to talk, maybe separately. Lisa, I'd recommend reaching out. Katie Esther at the Shelby, she's the director at the Shelby Township Public Library. She's gone through a couple of them. Hers have not been expansions, but new buildings, but she has gotten so much practical knowledge of it, and she's a great person to share with. And she would be happy to share with you.
I appreciate that. That's our neighbor.
Oh, yep. Yep. And Katie is wonderful. I used to work with her in Southfield. So she went through the rebuilding of the Southfield Library, which admittedly is now 20 years ago, but they just opened up their new building a few years back.
Okay. Yeah, I know they're a different type of library we are, but I'll give her a ring.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. Well, if nothing else for this meeting, let me look when our next meeting, let me pull up the calendar. It looks like it's September the 16th. We'll be back at it again. And I'll send out the notice for that meeting, and I'll send out the recording hopefully later today of this meeting. So thank you everybody for joining us, and we'll see you in September.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thanks. Bye.